The hype was real. Today we're going to take a look at Daredevil by Michael Bendis, Omnibus Volume 1. It has an 848 page count and the cover price of $100. Let's get into this review. Do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you get all notifications. Get yourself entered in the giveaway. Today we're taking a look at the glorious Daredevil, Volume 1 by Michael Bendis, Omnibus. Man, this book is fantastic. You get great cover art on the dust jacket from Alex Maleev, who does most of the artwork throughout this omnibus. Taking a look at the dust jacket, on the left-hand side you get where currently Daredevil is at in the story, and on the right hand side a bunch of the creators. Then you get this awesome wraparound cover here from issue 60. Alex Maleev's artwork is just absolutely phenomenal throughout this whole book, man. He's the main artist throughout all these issues here, and man, he does a fantastic job. But I love this wraparound cover. Taking a look at the binding quick, it is sewn binding and you get a nice eye. This book lays so damn flat, there's barely any gutter loss. This is probably one of the most well-made omnis I have ever had, man. This thing read fantastic. Also, just to note that this is the second print of the Daredevil omnibus. Now you get a list of the creators. So you get Michael Bendis as the writer, then you get art from Alex Maleev, Manuel Gutierrez, Terry Dodson, Rachel Dodson, Mark Morales, Matt Hollingsworth, David Mack, who will be doing this run here, this Wake Up, which is fantastic. You get a little introduction from Klaus Janson. And it does give you a little table of contents and lets you know what's collected. So this book does collect Daredevil 16 through 19, 26 through 50, and 56 through 60. This volume starts out with the Wake Up storyline with issues 16 through 19 with painted art from David Mack, which is just absolutely incredible, man. I love this whole storyline here. I think it was a quick little cool story setting up everything that's to happen throughout the rest of this omnibus, but the art from David Mack is crazy. Absolutely love that cover right there. The young boy reading the book, Matt Murdock doing his crazy little acrobatic flips in the background, and you got that great like painted effect, man. And this takes place throughout all these issues, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So in Wake Up, in this first story arc in the omnibus, you get Ben Urich, an investigative reporter for the Daily Bugle, and he's writing a story about this young boy, Timothy, that was left in a catatonic state after witnessing his father, that was a bank robber named Leapfrog, being involved in some kind of incident with the Daredevil. Now, as Ben Urich investigates this mystery and tries to figure out what happened to this young boy, there's a little bit of stuff going on with Kingpin. He's on trial currently, but it turns out in the story that, Leapfrog, this kind of like C-list or D-list villain, really, him and Daredevil got into a fight, and the boy had witnessed his father like beating the hell out of Matt Murdock, and the boy actually like shocked his own father, because he like suffered a bunch of abuse from his father over the years. So him seeing Matt Murdock getting fucked up by his dad kind of just made him like, he's also like involved in like comics. He writes these little pictures and stuff like that. So he kind of like looks to Daredevil as a hero and his father as a piece of shit, obviously, because he's abusive. So he ends up shocking his father actually with like a live wire, and his father ends up like falling off a roof into a sanitation truck. So Ben Urich ends up uncovering all this stuff throughout this, which is kind of cool. It's definitely an awesome little cool story. I mean, the artwork, the painted aspects of it is just absolutely beautiful, man. Then after that little story arc there, which was really good, man, it goes into issue 26, The Underboss, and it starts out with a bang with Wilson Fisk. He's getting attacked and stabbed, all poked up and shivved by members of an underground crime organization. And after that attack, Kingpin is thought to be dead. So during like these issues, there are quite a few like time jumps that'll go back and forth to like Matt Murdock doing his lawyer thing, and then it'll go to him being the mass vigilante. As here, there's a terrorist attack outside of the courtroom with Nitro. He ends up tracking down Nitro because he can smell the battery acid from him, which is a cool little thing, little nod to the senses of Daredevil. So it's kind of cool that it goes back and forth. This whole book is like that. So you get a lot of the hero stuff, and you get a lot of actually just him as like the lawyer, Matt Murdock, which is a good combination. I would really say that this book was so enjoyable that even somebody who wouldn't like comics necessarily would actually really like this run, because it has so much involvement, and it's got a grittiness to it, and the artwork is just great. I mean, if you're reading it, it goes just like a TV show, like a drama of just just really, really good writing. I mean, so even if you weren't a comic fan, I could see somebody loving this. I mean, I've heard people rave about this book for years now, and I absolutely loved it. I just never got around to reading it, and just thought because the new Daredevil Born Again is coming out that I would pick it up and I would just knock these out and probably read some of my more Daredevil books that I have. But man, this is just an incredible story. It turns out that, you know, this man, Sammy Silk, he knows that Kingpin knows that Matt Murdock is Daredevil, but Kingpin never told anybody about it. So he kind of gets everybody together, and that's why they attack him. And this dude, Sammy Silk, is trying to take over Kingpin's spot now in Hell's Kitchen. Wilson Fisk also is not dead, obviously. I mean, you can't kill the Kingpin, man. So his wife, Vanessa, who at this time, they're like not together. There's some sort of weird marital issues going on. She lives like in the Swiss Alps. She has him taken out and flown out there, and then he stays there and recoups. And at this time, too, to know that he's also blind. So it's pretty cool that Matt Murdock and Kingpin themselves are blind at this moment in the comics, which is, it's just kind of a cool little thing to add in there that both of them are suffering from this. But back onto the current state of the Kingpin. He's like in a coma for a while, and that's where all this stuff goes on, and everybody's trying to like basically take his place. So that Sammy Silk dude wants to take his spot, and Sammy Silk is also involved with Richard Fisk, which is Wilson Fisk's son. He's a part of this plan to take down the Kingpin, which is pretty crazy too. I mean, like, Kingpin's son is out to get him with this dude. They're trying to take his spot in Hell's Kitchen. But you know, of course, Vanessa Fisk ain't gonna have that shit. She's gonna come back with a vengeance and make sure everybody who was involved with the incident with her husband is taken care of, even if it's her own son. And then it goes on to the theme too throughout this volume, and which will continue into the next volume, of who is Daredevil? Is it Matt Murdock? He gets bombarded by the press constantly. They're always waiting outside of his house. Everybody's trying to figure out who the Daredevil is. And this is basically the main storyline throughout this whole thing. You have that investigative reporter, Ben Urich, there, who knows that Daredevil is Matt Murdock. And, you know, he could sell this information to the press, but he chooses not to. He's involved with Daredevil. There's a lot of great storytelling involved throughout this. You get Mr. Hyde here, which is kind of cool. You get a lot of great little introductions to kind of like characters you don't normally see in these types of comics, which is really cool. The Owl shows up eventually. He's one of the main people who tries to take over the spot for Kingpin. And he's selling these mutant growth hormones. You get some great Elektra cameos up in here. She's involved quite a bit more in the second volume. But, man, just this whole run is just fantastic. And you have to love the artwork here by Alex Maleev. I mean, I love a book where it's kind of the same artwork throughout the whole thing. That really, I love when that happens. And it's just like you're on the edge of your seat this whole run, just wondering if Murdock is going to reveal to himself that he is the Daredevil to everyone. Which throughout this run, you know, obviously Foggy Nelson is trying to attempt and deter Murdock from coming clean about him being the Daredevil. I mean, he defrauded the justice system, and he would probably get disbarred and also do some serious jail time if it were known that he were the Daredevil. So it's kind of cool. He also gets input from like Peter Parker and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones on kind of like what he should do. He talks with like Reed Richards, people who are known to the public as being who they are. You get this cool little story arc here with the White Tiger too, who ends up trying to stop a burglary, but he ends up getting arrested and charged with the murder of this cop, and Matt Murdock represents him in the court trial. And it's really basically kind of what could happen to him if he were to go on trial, which obviously that court case ends in tragedy, with Hector Ayala, the White Tiger, being gunned down on the court steps. So it's just something to know. It's a cool little story to throw in there that like this could happen to him if he actually goes on trial. Then he gets more involved with the Owl and stuff here with the mutant growth hormone, and Wilson Fisk, your boy, is back, and you know he's gonna show up to Sammy Silk in prison and do work to that motherfucker. Matt Murdock also ends up saving a blind woman from getting hit by like a truck or car or something like that as well. This girl, Milla Donovan, too, which he ends up starting like a relationship throughout this book too, which is pretty cool. You know, that always complicates things when somebody's around. Also, Bullseye showing up complicates things too. And you get also like appearances from Typhoid Mary in this. Man, this book is just jam-packed with like all kinds of crazy action and great villains, fantastic storyline, and It's just absolutely incredible. I'm definitely glad that I finally jumped into this. You get a great battle here with Kingpin and Daredevil, and this is where Daredevil basically just, I love these panels from different artists in this battle too. You got like John Buscema and like a bunch of other artists. They show who it is in the back of this omnibus and the extras as well, which is cool. But so basically, Matt Murdock just claims that he is he's the new Kingpin of Hell's Kitchen. You know, he warns organized crime that they better get the hell out of town or he's gonna fuck them all up, because he's the new Kingpin. He also won a bunch of lawsuits from the defamation stuff, from saying that his true identity. So he's got a ton of money. He like builds libraries and shit like that. He helps out Hell's Kitchen, and now he's just the Kingpin, man. Which the Yakuza, they try to step up, but of course they can't fuck with your boy Matt Murdock. And this kind of just ends on really Ben Urich. He has this theory that, because of Karen Page's death, that Matt Murdock had a nervous breakdown, and that's what caused all of this to happen. So it kind of ends on that, and Milla and Daredevil end up splitting. They did get married quickly, and then that's pretty much where this book ends. It'll pick up in volume 2. In the back, of course, you get all these extras with this great artwork. There's all those panels I was saying where different people like Klaus Janson, Joe Quesada, John Romita. Great looking stuff, man. Absolutely love this book. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, we are giving away Thor by Walter Simonson Omnibus and a mystery slab. All you got to do to get yourself entered in the giveaway is be subscribed to the channel, like and comment on a video where I mentioned this giveaway. When we hit 1,000 subs, I'll use a random comment generator to announce the winner. Good luck!